you so much for all your work.
Oh, you're very welcome. I mean, this is only the first step to
Yeah,
translate the text, and now what we're doing is the second step is trying to work out how you actually do those exercises.
yeah, it's
Because
wonderful.
translating is one thing, how you actually do them, that's something else. Because, you know, when I
Yes,
translated them, sometimes I understand how to do them, sometimes I don't. So I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a group of people who are interested in these kind of older medieval, exercises which are less known, yeah,
okay.
and could still be very, very helpful to modern people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we really this is a treasure trove. It's
Mm.
just got so many different access, and it's already quite systematized, isn't it, in a way,
Yes, yes.
by the Sui
Mm,
court
mm,
physicians. They made a big effort of
yeah.
trying to find all these different exercises and put them under some kind of disease entry, different categorizations. So they made, I mean, they must have spent a lot of time and energy doing it.
Yes, so it shows that it was very important to them and that they really believed in the power of those exercise for the healing.
Exactly,
Mm.
exactly. And they made Daoing as the core treatment methods in their imperial court, in the
Wow.
Sui imperial
Mm.
court.
Okay.
Daoing is the main, is the one.
Mhm.
And it's just like incredible.
Yes, it's very
So
exciting.
very exciting, isn't
I'm
it?
sure they would never have thought that 1,800 or 1,300 years later, some people would be using such a thing as a computer, connecting all together, trying to work out
Yeah.
those movements. So
Well, I
nice.
think it's wonderful because then we are continuing the tradition.
Yeah.
We're trying to hang on to that because otherwise they're just going to be on the bookshelves
Mm,
gathering dust, yeah? And that's happened to lots of texts. And
mm.
Yeah.
so, but these are, exercises which could still be very, very incredibly helpful. So we might as well trying to understand them and see if we can apply them to to ourselves.
Yes.
And so the idea is to have people like yourself to come and, so we read together and then we're trying to work out the exercises and just, yeah, just feel if there's any difference or anything. What we found is there's a very interesting, a lot of like, it's very robust, almost like very logical. There's a lot of like internal coherence in the exercises in relation to the diseases. And so yeah, I think we're still really learning. And and it's just great to have the opportunity with this group to explore together, which is a lot
So
more
so
fun.
far you haven't decided. There's a few movements that you're not sure how to perform, how to practice them, and you're using through this group. Yeah,
Yeah,
finding out.
exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, exactly. So, I mean, I try not to prepare very much. So I'm not really the one who's telling you what to do or what it is. I'm
Okay.
kind of saying, okay, well, let's read this together. And, a lot of time is people's telling me or their understanding. And a lot of time people will say, oh, what about if we do it like this? Because my understanding, my imagination is actually quite different from everybody else's. And then just very interesting is that, okay, and sometimes I even mistranslate it. So, so it's all good to trying to pick up, just pick people's brains really and to trying to refine the understanding. The more
Wow.
we do it, the more we discussing it, the more we, you know, practice them, the more we know.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is just really fun because, I mean, if you do the modern Qigong, it's kind of already been standardized,
Yes.
somebody being approved, the Chinese government approved this particular set
Mm,
of exercises, and you just follow it because you've
mm,
got a teacher who has to pass exams
mm,
in order to become a teacher to teach you, and
mm,
then you then do exactly the same. But
mm.
those in a way is quite arbitrary if you think about it because
Yes.
that's their standardization.
Hmm.
But you know it, if you look at these texts, they probably look very different, yeah, from what the modern standardized version. So if, for example, the eight brocades,
Mm-hmm.
you read different versions of eight brocades, like, oh my God, there are so many different versions,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And then but then there is a modern standardized versions as
Mm-hmm.
well. So that's another version. So it just shows that the most important thing is to understand the principle, and then so then there's really no such thing as a standardized or standard practice. Is only when you use the exercise and you're trying to bring your own understanding, and then you then trying to do it the best way you know. And
Yes.
so in our session particularly, we often emphasize, just try a different way, try it, do it like this or do it like that, and they could be all good,
Okay, wonderful. I love
Because
it.
yeah, because at the end of the day, we can't be guaranteed to say, oh yeah, definitely this is what they
Yes.
meant. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not possible
No.
because we're not in 7th century China. We haven't got somebody from 7th century China to say, oh yes, this is what we did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just not. It's just so we can only do our best,
Mm.
and as long as it's good for we feel the benefit, then yeah, then that's already served the purpose. What do you think, Jesse? Hi. Can't hear you still. Sorry, because every time people comes in, you're muted, so you have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the process and I think that it's been wonderful to be part of the collaboration and to feel like there's um the input from different angles actually does make a difference. Like it's
Mm.
I feel like we're getting it like for the most part, I feel like we have a pretty good understanding of the exercises. There's only been one or two in the whole text where I'm sort of left going, I still don't get it, right? So
Yeah,
um
yeah.
so I think that it's good to have that sort of ability to bounce things back and to have people who understand the language and sort of debate the language and try and get a clearer picture
Mm,
because
mm,
it's there's so many layers of possibility for misinterpretation and so and honestly I've just been really impressed with the intelligence of the exercises. Like I can understand why they put so much faith into it. Like it's easy to look at this stuff and say, okay, it doesn't make sense or it doesn't like how is that going to impact anything? But when you actually put it into practice, like you could feel a lot of changes and it makes sense from modern anatomical standards a lot of the time. And it makes sense from a lot of different angles. So sorry, I'm not sure if I'm breaking up here. Just give me 1 second. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and actually, I'm gonna do a workshop on it in Halifax in August. I just booked with a friend,
wow.
so I'm gonna try and spread the word and expand people's understanding, and hopefully sell some books for you too.
Yeah, that's great. That's wonderful, Jesse. Excellent. So
Yes.
yeah, I think, the wonderful things about this group is, we got our own different sort of expertise, if you like. So I'm a historian. That was my training. So I'm not a practitioner of Chinese medicine. And I'd never really gone through those kind of practice, those kind of trainings that some of you may have. And so, so with people like yourself, like Jesse and Michael, so they are coming from the practitioner's perspective, and it's a very enriching experience for me to be able to see, oh, how, what their understandings are. And obviously, yes, I can, trying to do my best to give the textual understanding, the philological understanding. And I mean, I may not be correct every single time, but obviously I'm trying to explain those characters and those some concepts embedded in the words. So yeah, so we're just having the different expertise really, and that's just really wonderful. So I think maybe we should make a start. Right. So great. So welcome to the Medieval Daoyin Study Group session. And I'm just really happy to, have some of you to be with me today. And we're going to start on chapter 31. So I think we got as far as page 190. So we're going to start today, chapter 31. So we moved now from those kind of sort of lumbar pain, ribs pains, now to the next section, disease disorder, which is all to do with cold damage. So this one is from 卷 7, section 1, symptoms of cold damage, and it's on page 192. And because it's such a long descriptions, so I kind of ask people to read it in advance. So I hope some of you have done that. So because I kind of think that maybe we don't need to read the whole descriptions. And so basically, I think the idea of this disease is to do with somehow you catch the cold, especially the winter cold. So when somebody becomes ill because they catch this winter cold, then they develop this so-called cold damage. That's obviously a very, very simple, simplistic way of defining it. But then it also sort of go into a slight complications, and that is, so if you didn't kind of immediately, have the illness, then your body kind of stores this the so-called cold damage, and then when the spring comes, this cold damage actually turn into a warm disorder. And then if it then still did not, you did not have any symptoms, then when it comes to summertime, then you started to have the symptoms, then it becomes what is called a summer heat disorder. So I think that's what it's kind of saying. Am I right?
Well, what I was going to say was that
Yes.
I was reading this and thinking about the Shanghan Lun, and
Yes,
the Shanghan
precisely.
Lun lists cold damage and wind strike
Aha.
as the two external invasions. And the difference between them is that with cold damage, there is no sweating, but with
Aha.
wind strike, there is sweating.
As the symptoms.
Yes, and the principle of cold damage is that it attacks the defensive, freezes the pores,
Hmm.
right? And then the defensive chi moves to the exterior to attempt to push the pathogen out,
Hmm.
but it hits a barrier, which is
Okay.
the cold obstructed pores,
Yeah.
and it then stagnates and creates heat, reverts back into the yang ming. And this is the classic sort of cold gets on your chest. You
Okay.
know how you're sniffly and sort of spluttery,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden you've got a sore throat, right?
Right.
That's my understanding of it. But then the heat, if we're going into winter and you've got this kind of chi stagnation created hot pathogen, in the body quite likes it because it's
Okay.
cold. So a little bit of warmth doesn't actually get noticed. It only gets noticed when spring comes in and the weather gets warm. And there is a theory which are called lurking pathogens,
Uh-huh.
and it kind of falls into that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That was my immediate thought. But because you see, the thing is that the Shanghan Lun didn't really become, if you like, popular until the Song Dynasty.
Okay. Yeah.
It just stumbled along with everything else because,
Mhm.
politically, China kept changing, didn't it? The dynasty after, I mean, the Sui dynasty, how long did it last? 70 years?
The Sui only
Oh,
38.
38 years.
Very
Sorry, not
short.
even that long.
Yes.
But when
Mhm.
the Song dynasty comes, um, they've already got block printing, so they can actually start printing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think it was the Renzhong Emperor in 1057, but I'd have to check the date.
Yes, it's the
In
Northern
order
Song.
to in order to preserve his mandate from heaven, in the face of an epidemic outbreak,
Hmm.
prints the Shanghan Lun and distributes it.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then sort of quite quickly, the Shanghan Lun becomes
All of
famous, if you like.
Right, yeah,
But you
right.
see, I think in the interim period, in the sort of like 800 years or so period in between,
Yeah.
there may well have been more than one version of it.
Yes, I think, yeah, yeah. I
And I
think you're
think this
kind,
is what these guys were picking up.
yes, because it's not quite sort of Shanghai Lun, but it's already has got that kind of reasoning, doesn't it? You got the
Yes,
sort of day one, day two, day three,
yes,
day four.
yeah,
You
yeah,
already got the moving of the channel, the Taiyang moving to the Yangming, moving to the
yeah.
Shaoying,
We really
Shaoyang.
need Volker here, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah, he's gonna give us like a whole lecture on this.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think yeah, the understanding is for me is just is trying to understand this cold being sort of encounter the winter cold and specifically, and then that winter cold being in the sort of in a dormant and can turn into a warm disorder or the summer heat disorder and
yeah,
then which then trying to differentiate that from this what is called the seasonal disorder. So the seasonal disorder, which comes later, is when the weather behaves weirdly. So it's in the winter time you get this cold this hot weather, or in the hot weather you got this cold temperature. So then that's how then you get this kind of seasonal disorder is to do with the weathers being strange, and then the body
yeah,
kind of get confused. And then
yes, yeah,
so I think that's kind of the gist of it, and then obviously it goes further into actually telling you what to do. I mean, this is the text is all about written for is written for physicians by physicians, yeah. So it's
yeah,
telling the physicians that okay, if the illness starts at day one, day two, then you do this, you do that, help your patients to sweat or to vomit or to purge them. So it's very specific, yeah. So very
yeah,
detailed, gives you very detailed descriptions as well. And again, also pulses, like very, very, very clear, detailed pulses that I can't even begin to understand. So, but it is just incredible how rich this material is just for the cold damage. So,
Well, I was going to say, I thought I could get away with just having a quick read this afternoon, but then,
and then you realize you're gonna,
I wish I'd
yeah,
had a little bit of a run at it, you know?
I know, it is a lot, and
Yeah,
but I think we got this sort of some, some ideas anyway.
yes, yeah.
Yes. So I thought then we could just look at the Dowing exercise, unless anybody wants to, say anything or have got any questions before we move on to the Dowing exercise on page 200. We're all happy with that? Okay, cool. So then I'm going to read the Dowing instructions. So the Yangshen recipes, the Dowing method says, sit upright, lengthen your lumbus, and slowly inhale qi through your nose. Holding your nose with your right hand, slowly exhale qi with your eyes closed. This cures cold damage and headaches. You should do this exercise until you begin to sweat. Okay, so it's kind of simple enough, yeah? All right, you sit straight, you lengthen shen yao, the lumbar region, and then slowly use your nose, inhale chi, use your right hand to hold your nose. It didn't say to like tightly. So I think you're just holding your nose. Then you slowly close your eyes and then exhale. So this is 吐气, yeah? So 吐, I take it very literally. It means you spit out qi through your mouth. So you're gonna inhale qi through your nose, exhale through your mouth. And you do that very, very, very slowly while you're holding your nose with your right hand. I think that's all it needs to do. The question is, I mean, there are various questions. One, do you actually, trying to hold the breath after you inhale? So you inhale, you put your right hands next to your nose. Do you hold your breath? And then do you then exhale through your mouth? That's kind of question that I will ask. Or do you just do it, Also, another thing is, do you actually, hold your nose as if like close your nostrils? Do you actually pinch them? Because I mean, it didn't really say pinch your nose. That's why the translation is just hold your nose. And but I'm not quite sure if you're not going to pinch your nostrils, what's the purpose?
Well, I guess you would be breathing out under pressure, wouldn't you?
Okay, so are you narrowing the
Yeah,
nostrils then?
that's
You're
that's that's a possibility,
ah,
isn't it? To drive
yes.
the pathogen out, maybe? I don't know.
So you're almost like narrowing the passage of
Yeah.
your nostrils, isn't it? So then hold on, the air gonna you see, you're gonna inhale through your nose slowly. Then you use your right hands to hold your nose, and then you're gonna somehow breathe out.
Hmm.
So it's through breathing out. You can, yes, I think it's still possible to breathe out through your nose, not necessarily through your mouth, although the character does suggest through the mouth because it's
Okay, right.
so I would suggest we try various combinations. I think you also need to try to think that, okay, how am I going to do this so that you're going to be able to sweat because you're going to keep doing it until you're beginning to sweat. So that's going to take some time if the exercise is not effective enough. So think
Hmm.
about how you can actually somehow make your body warm so then you sweat. So should we try it and then try whichever way you think is most appropriate and then you feel whatever, yeah? And
Hmm.
so we can then come back and discuss.
So
Yes?
I just have one quick question. The Because it uses it twice, the shishu. Um,
Oh,
so I've translated it as like slowly or gently. Do you think that it might be an onomatopoeia, like like it's trying to uh like we're just trying to breathe like slowly, like with a slow like hiss? Where
slowly like what?
are
His.
you following?
Uh, say that
So
again.
it's like shu shu yi bi nei chi,
Mm.
the character is shishu.
Yeah.
Uh, so slowly, you can through your nose
Inhale chi. Then yeah.
inhale chi.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then it says you can with your right hand grasp your nose and slowly closing your
So
eyes, spit out the
okay.
chi. So
Yes.
do you think that like it's slowly, but do you think that it's like an onomatopoeia where we're supposed to sh like make like that shoo shoo noise as we
No,
breathe in,
no.
sort of like where
Shushu,
you can
shushu
hear
is
the
not
breath in a
shushu
certain
is not
way?
a sound. It's not the
Okay.
shu because you might be thinking of the shu sound. Those
Yeah.
the 6
Yeah.
words sound. So
Yeah.
there's the shu shu sound, or there's a e or he. No, no, no. So this is just xu xu. Xu xu just means slowly, because when characters repeat itself, it tend to elongate. So then make it slowly, yeah. So xu xu. So it does
Okay.
emphasize it's already slow, and then you make another word exactly the same. That makes it even slower. Yeah, or quite. So then that's the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, so there's no sound. You're not
Okay.
trying to make sound, but you are trying to slowly using your nose to inhale qi. So na qi. So the words almost like nei you will see in a modern word, which is nei as in internal, but this is actually a verb, which is a if you write it in a modern way, it will have a silk radical on the left hand side. But this is a more sort of medieval character, if you like. So that word, which now in modern sense is internal nei, in here is na as in inhale. So you're gonna inhale qi, and it's a verb
Mm.
as well. So yeah. So then again, as I said before, when you're reading Chinese, it does combine with time. So you start with sit upright, lengthening the lumbar. So you kind of do sit upright, and then you do lengthening the lumbar. And then you do the next thing, which is slowly use the nose to inhale qi. So you do that. And then you do right hands hold the nose. After that, then you do slowly close the eyes, spitting out qi. And that's it. And then it says it cures shanghan, headache, shivering, so the shivering sensation. And then you should then do this until as using the sweating, as a measure. So then when you start to sweat, that's it. You've done the exercise. So it doesn't tell you to do it 3 times, 7, or 4 times 7, or take how many breaths. It doesn't say that. You just say you keep doing it until you're beginning to sweat. So it could be a long time, but we're going to spend a few
Yeah.
minutes.
Well, one of the things I was going to say was with the sweating,
Yeah.
because you would use ma huang tang, which
Oh.
induces sweat. So
Okay.
it may be obliquely just referencing that. That
Um,
you're actually doing the exercise because, a lot of, from what I've read, you're doing the exercises alongside sort of acupuncture and
yeah.
medicines, aren't you?
Uh, you
So
could. Mhm.
I'm just guessing it may not necessarily be a standalone without anything else.
Yes, that is true. And because before we have the Darwin exercise, it always says the orthodox prescription, which is
Yeah,
just above it, of Yangshen, of decoctions, hot packs, needles, and stones are given elsewhere. The
yeah,
Yangshen supplementation and Darwin instructions are now attached below. So then it suggests that you got those information somewhere else, which you're
yeah,
going to use.
yeah.
And then, but here I'm going to just give you the Daoyin, instructions, or the Yangshen instructions, because you don't find them anywhere else. So
Yes,
they
yeah,
are here. And yeah, that's correct that you do combine. I mean, you can see, particularly in this disease entry, it does tells you that you're going to try to make your patient to sweat first
yeah,
thing, and then if that doesn't work, you're trying to make them to vomit, and then if that doesn't work, then you try to make them to have purgation, so that causing diarrhea, so then coming out, yeah. So that's why and they do use those things, and
yeah,
then in conjunction of that, then you do those exercises. Although because this book is more about doing the exercises, and
yeah,
also tend to be you do the exercise first, and only when you think it's necessary to prescribe drugs, then you do so. This is almost like the first core, if you like. And
Okay,
that's also the idea in a Sui period
right,
that
right,
that Daoyin is the first The first thing that you
Okay.
do,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you do something else, you do something
Yeah.
else.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, I just thought it was just done alongside.
Yeah, yeah, that is also that's definitely very much possible because medicine, they always use herbal remedies,
Yeah. Yeah.
concoctions and all that sort of thing. So they will definitely go for that. But then this is different. This is like instead of taking something and causing the sweat, this is you do something,
Yeah.
yourself do something to cause the sweat. And I
Yeah.
think that's even more direct in a way, is like you're gonna help the body to generate the heat to cause that. So it's like it feels like you're helping your body to create this medicine to sort of combat the deviance, if you like.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if we're able to do that, then we don't need to use medicine. Medicine is almost like um, okay, if we can't do it, then we use something else, something external, if you like, to force the body to sweat or to vomit or yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So should we should we do it now?
There we
Should we
go.
practice? Give ourselves a few minutes.
Hmm.
So try different ways, yeah. So we don't know yet how to do it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I can tell you how I did it. And that was, I really like Michael's suggestions, and that is almost like make your nostrils smaller, so then the airs go in and out in a very sort of small amount, if you like. And so it feels to me that the key word is the xu xu. It's like slowly, slowly, yeah. So you inhale qi slowly through your nose. You're holding your nose. I didn't hold it really tight, but then I kind of narrow the passageways of the nostrils. And then spit out again. I spit out through my mouth. Then after a while, I realized I can almost like slow right down my breathing. So I can inhale quite slowly. And then I don't need to like hold my breath or anything. I can then just exhale again, very slowly, slowly exhale. So the breathing become quite long. And I
Hmm.
noticed that like be getting longer and longer. Then I beginning to feel my hands started to sweat. So I'm wondering whether the long breathings creates also, because you're breathing through a very small amount, so everything is almost like it's much warmer, isn't it?
Hmm.
When you are bringing the qi in, if it's a very small amount, by the time it enters in your body, is
Hmm.
much warmer, and the same thing happen when it goes out as well. So that's my understanding or my experience. What about you?
Well,
Yeah.
I initially went with just partially closing, and I found that was more effective than breathing through my mouth.
Ah,
But one of the things that occurred to me was that if you see the skin as your third lung,
okay.
by obstructing the nose, you're actually encouraging the skin to breathe out and
Ah,
hence open the pores.
that's interesting, isn't it? That's incredible.
Just a
So,
thought, you
yeah, that's
know.
just a thought. So the idea is you kind of block the nose, then you encourage the breathing to take place elsewhere, really.
Yes, yeah. Because I don't know whether you've ever done any of those Qigong exercises where you actually try to breathe in and out through the whole body, don't you?
Well, in my class, I tend to say to people, so imagine your pores are getting on your skin are getting bigger and bigger, allowing the chi to move in and out. So you're not breathing just through your nose, but also
Ah,
through the pores. But then
okay. Well, there you go.
that's through visualization. It's like imagine the pores getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
this is like if you physically kind of force like holding your nose and therefore you can't breathe, yeah? So then you kind of have to encourage a different ways of breathing.
Hmm.
So anybody else?
I did the restricted sort of half closing with my hand. So breathing in, restricting, and then when I was breathing out, because it says like tu chi, I was sort of like doing restriction with my lips as well. So like pursing my lips a bit, so I'd sort of have to labor to exhale. So I made myself labor to inhale and labor to exhale, and I found
Hmm.
myself get hot within a few breaths, and I felt my ear pop as well because it I think it changed the pressure, intracranial pressure in the sinuses. So it felt like a bit of a release in the head. And then after about 3 to 4 minutes, I had a very light perspiration. So I feel like it's effective for like emitting sweat.
Mm.
And so, in the text before this, it talks very like clearly about in this situation you can do sweating, in this situation you can't do sweating, in this situation you can purge, in that situation you can't purge. And so I think that it's sort of I would take this exercise as like a method of diaphoresis, like to cause sweating, but then you have to refer to the text to know whether or not the method is correct
Hmm.
Or if
in
if it's
that
done at the
specific
right time, because this is
case.
Yeah, I would say this is for almost like for the onset of the cold damage, only the beginning stage
Hmm.
where you can do it by sweating things out. But then if the deviant qi is already moved further into your chest and into your organs, then you probably wouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. So for example,
Um, yeah, like I do sort of wonder like if this is like how effective this would be for early stage cold and flu, right? Like I do think that when you restrict breathing, a whole host of internal processes become activated. I think that they use the difficult like restricted breathing for many things. So
mm,
yeah, I'd be curious to try this like, when if you had first like the sniffles or like early stage and see if this could
yeah.
be a cure for the common cold, right?
Hmm.
So Jesse, when you said that you inhale so you force the as how did you actually do that and breathe out also with
So I was closing my nostrils maybe like 50, 60%, and then I just breathe through the restricted passages. So
yeah,
it'd just be a
right.
little bit more work,
Yeah. And
But
then
not
breathe
breathing through
out.
the mouth
sort
at
of
the same
sipping
time,
the
just
air,
through the nose.
slowly deep inhaling,
Do you
Right.
also breathe
just
out?
through the nose. And then I was breathing out through the mouth with restriction as well.
Oh, with the
So
restriction
both at
of
the
your
same
mouth.
time.
No, inhale and then exhale. So alternating, breathing in through the restriction,
Uh-huh.
breathing out through restriction.
Okay. And breathing out through the mouth
Yes, but like with a smaller opening.
with a
Yeah,
restriction.
to make it
Right.
very,
Okay.
very slow.
Right.
And trying to focus on like long, slow breaths. And I felt like it did trigger like the I think part of the reason it made me sweat was that it triggered like the asphyxia fear, right? Like because you're sort of
Okay.
laboring to breathe.
Yeah.
It was challenging for my brain, right?
So it's sort of panic.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is not danger, not a danger to anyone to be in that state. If you're getting air, but it does. I think that sort of panic triggers, like it makes you sort of slow down. I think it triggers your immune system. I think it triggers a lot of different things internally as well, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's very good. I like the way you say when you exhale through your mouth, you also make it smaller, like the way you
Hmm.
hold the nose, isn't it, to make the passageway smaller. So that's very, very interesting. Mm.
Is there a different word, like, because it says tu chi, like, which tu is often like spitting or vomiting, right? Is there another word that might be used for exhalation that's just like more of a blowing,
True,
like,
true is just out. Yeah, true.
yeah,
So,
right?
yeah, I mean, it's not. There might be other examples where you just, yeah, you just breathe out through your nose as well, rather
Because
than
I'm
spitting.
sort
Right.
of
So
inferring from the spitting character that it's sort of like you'd sort of you'd have your lips close together to spit fluid,
Yeah,
and so it's sort of like you're trying to like expel, but just from a small amount.
yeah,
But that's my inference. I'm not sure if it's correct, but I feel like if we have these two exercises that seem fairly minimal and innocuous on a chapter that's like 6 pages of text, that's sort of summarizing the Shanghan Lun, right?
yeah,
yeah.
in a
And
way.
so I feel like there's probably a lot in these exercises that
Yeah, that would make
it
sense.
It
Yeah.
meets the
it
eye.
has to be like doing more than just like sitting and
Yeah.
breathing. Like we have to be doing something fairly stimulating,
Yeah.
Mm, mm.
right?
Well, my feeling is the first one, it seems to deal with the onset of the illness. So then because you're not, as you said, you're not going to encourage the patients to sweat if that is not the appropriate method. Yeah. So you need to kind of know when the stages of the illness as well. And so that's important because if we let's look at the second one now, because the second one I would say is when the illness is a little bit more advanced, not very advanced, but a little bit more advanced, because now we're talking about getting rid of the heat of the body and the pain in your back. So that means is probably the illness is much, into your system a bit further. So you can't just, trying to sweat it out, I think. So let's have a look at the second exercise, and that is on page 201. So again, it says, raise your left arm, your palm facing up, and stamping the ground with your left foot. Okay, so far is all on your left side. Okay, you raise the left arm, palm facing up. You stamp on your left foot, and then you inhale qi through your nose, stop after 40 breaths. So you do that. So basically inhale, exhale 40 times. This gets rid of fever in the body and back pain. So this is a very different exercise from what we just had. This one is a lot more vigorous, and it's almost like, it creates this kind of polarized movements. One is raise the left, and then you on the same side. It's not diagonally. It's on the same side. You stamp. Yeah. So one is going up, the other one is going down, and you do that combining with the breathing. And I mean, it didn't tell you that you do it to your right, because then that's it. That's the end of the exercise. So, but I suspect you probably could do on your right as well, but then you stamp on your right foot. It didn't say that, but I kind of assume that that could be the case. But we could try just by following this instruction, just using the left hands and the left foot. And so I have an immediate question. Oh, sorry. Okay, all right. That's all right, Karen. So my immediate question is, I mean, when you stamping your foot, yeah, do you combine that with your breathing, or do you do the stamping and then you just breathe without sort of coordinate with your stamping? So do you inhale and then exhale while you're stamping the leg, your foot, and then inhale, wait, and then when you exhale, you stamp? Do you do that, or do you just not worry about when you breathe and you just stamping the feet and just keep your arm raised?
So it doesn't say anything about exhalation.
No.
So I don't know if it's possible to do this 40 times, but the way that I'm reading it is like you'll have your arm up, reaching your palm and stamping your foot and your hand at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you do
And
it
then
quite fast.
inhaling with the, yeah, so it's like little sips of air in through your nose, breathing in with 40 segments. I don't know if this is possible. I'm gonna try it.
Oh, how
But
do you
breathing in like I could get about 10.
I don't understand though. I
So
don't
it's like
understand.
little bits of air.
All right, do it like
So it's hard.
so inhale
So
10 times.
I can only get 10 before I'm full of breath.
Yes, so but
Yeah.
oh, I see. You're gonna inhale it. Oh my God. I know what you mean now. So literally inhale 40 times
Without exhaling.
without exhaling.
Yeah.
I,
Just
I can't
tiny
do
little
it.
inhalations.
All right.
But
Okay.
it is
Well,
definitely inhaling through the nose
40
40 times
breaths
and
stop. You're right.
stop.
If you read it literally, then yes,
Yeah.
So,
but I'm not going to follow it.
so another option would be like stamp and do one big inhale and then breathe out and then
Yeah, that I would say that.
Or you mean stamp as you exhale?
Then as you, yeah, I would say that's how
I
I
would have
would
thought
do
that
it.
would be logical, wouldn't it?
That would be logical, but then that
well,
would take a long time
Yes. Yes.
for the
so
forty breaths.
I'm stamping as I inhale. So inhale, stamp and stretch, and then breathe out, and then inhale, stamp and stretch. Breathe out.
Oh,
Inhale, stamp and stretch, and then
At the same
exhale.
time. And then exhale and relax.
Okay, yeah. So
And
you inhale when the actions takes place.
so inhale.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then breathe out as you relax, and then inhale again,
Hmm.
breathing out
right.
as you relax. I wonder if this is supposed to have like a purgative effect, like if it's like, the like
Makes you.
causing bowel movements to do all the stamping and stretching.
I think probably
I
afterwards
guess we'll
it
find
gets out.
out.
Excuse me, I need to Yeah, it could be because you're kind of shaking everything, isn't it? I mean, the character is quite sudden, jolting movement, so it is quite a harsh word, if you like. That you know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
movement is quite harsh in a way.
Yeah.
So it's like sudden sort of jolt, and so you're not going to do it lightly with your left foot.
Hmm.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And so you're
No.
gonna really, stamp on it.
Yeah.
And well, should we try? I mean,
Yeah.
I'll try
Well, I was just going to say,
whichever way you think,
yeah.
that suits you, I think.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, because fever I always associate with the yang ming,
Right,
which
yes.
is the stomach and large intestine. So Jesse could be right.
Yeah,
Well, it's
exactly.
certainly,
This is gonna
Just getting everything going
getting
downwards.
everything down
yeah.
will
Yeah.
go out.
And it's
Okay. So
stretching
here
the
we go
yongming
then.
as well. Like you're opening the whole yongming channel here from the foot to
Yeah.
the hand. So,
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah. All right, I'm going to try it.
Yes, okay, let's do it.
Mm. Okay, we're back again. Sounds off,
Certainly
Dolly.
a workout on that arm.
Yeah.
It is very it's hard work, isn't it? The
Yeah.
left arm, gosh, it feels very painful. Hmm.
I feel I need to find somebody with a
So
fever and ask
fever
them to
in the
do
body
this.
and back.
By somebody with a fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's enough of it going around here, so I'm sure I could find somebody. Whether or not they would agree to this, I don't know.
Well, I've just recovered from one, which is a
Yeah,
bit
I had
unfortunate,
as
isn't it?
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Well, I mean, now I started to cough. I feel like something is coming out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I found it quite hard to almost like coordinate my breathing. I tend to breathe out when I stamp rather than breathe in when I stamp.
Mm.
So yeah, so I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean, if you read the Chinese, is kind of tell you to raise the left hands, you stamp the left foot, raise the palm, and then the inhale through your nose and you do 40 breaths
Yeah.
and stop. So in a way, it to me, it may not, the stamping and the raise of the left arm may not need to in some kind of coordination with the breathing. I don't know. How do you feel?
Well, I was
So you're
trying to.
saying
Sorry, go on.
so you're saying you just sort of have your hand up and just be breathing in and out, more
So
relaxed.
your left foot keeps stamping,
Yeah.
but you're not counting the left. You're not counting your stamps. You're focusing on the breathing. So
Right.
so so once your left foot is stamping, you just keep letting it happen. And then you're breathing, inhale through your nose 40 times. So you might end up doing like lots of stamping, yeah, while you're taking the 40 breath. That was one idea. And then I trying to trying to coincide with my breathing, and I realized the only way I can do it more naturally, because I found it hard to do it, is when I exhale, I stamp. Exhale, I stamp. I suppose I probably could do it inhale when I stamp as well. But
Mhm.
for some reason, that's harder for me.
Hmm.
I do think it's like if we take these two exercises as a pair, I mean,
Mm,
Shanghan is such a huge topic in Chinese medicine, and the text that it dedicates to this indicates that it also takes it seriously and has a very nuanced approach
mm.
to it. But if we look at these exercises and sort of dispersing and warming, and then we have one that is dispersing and cooling, right, to clear the fever. And
Yeah.
so I think that we could look at this as like almost like a toolbox in the case of Shanghan, where you like whether you want to warm and disperse or drain and cool, right?
Right.
And so we have these sort of exercises as like a way to approach the issue with nuance.
Mhm.
And I feel like there must be some sort of connected spectrum that these exercises work on to just give these two exercises for such a complex thing.
Yes, I
Yeah.
would say I
That makes sense.
yes,
Yeah.
I would say that it seems to me that's just my understanding. The two exercises t really only deal with the first initial stages of the cold damage. When it starts to get worse, I don't think the exercise is going to work, because I think the Daoyin exercises can't claim that it will be able to treat in different all the stages, if you like. So it seems to me it's only suggesting those two because that's when it's most effective. Then when it gets further down the line, then the patient become more ill, then may Daoyin exercise may not be helpful any longer.
Yeah.
That's just my idea, because the first two, these exercise, the first one definitely is only about sweating, which coincide with what has been said, in the beginning, that when the illnesses enter the taiyang and receive the cold, causing headaches, and then you trying to help your patient to sweat and stuff like that. So, and then the second one is the body get hot, and then you have the back pain. This is, again, I think this is still a sort of second stage. Maybe the illness is entering the Yangming channels, and then that's just my understanding. So that's why there are only two. They haven't got like six, for example. Six different Dao exercise to address six stages, if you like.
Yeah.
They haven't got that. They only got two. And it is interesting with Daoyin exercise, because if you read the Neijing, it tells you that the first thing is that from Neijing or from Zhang Zhongjing's Jingui Yao Lü? It could be from that, actually. It said the first thing you do is you do Daoyin, you do massage, and then then if those don't work, then you start to give medication, decoctions and needles, and moxibustion and things like that. So it seems to me this is like, as soon as you sense the onset of the cold damage, then you do these.
Yeah.
So, do you think, Crystal? Do you want to say anything? No.
No, this one I'm
Yeah. How did you find the
kind of
two
miffed.
exercises?
I'm just a little miffed.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think I don't know.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have some ideas forming, but they're not comprehensive in any way to articulate that would make some sort of I
Yeah.
might have a brain spark. I'll let you know.
Yeah, but I think it is interesting though that the two exercise, one is sort of more about breathing exercise. The other one is like really action, like you kind of trying to shock your system, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, create this kind of shock wave through the body kind of thing. And there's this kind of polarized movement as well. One is up, the other one's down, and interestingly, is only on the left-hand side. So it's all quite intriguing. I kind of imagine you can do it on the right as well, though. Especially, I mean, after done it for some time, you feel like, oh my God, my left arm hurts. And so you kind of feel like I want to balance it out a little bit by, doing the right side as well.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, should we move on to the next one? So the next one is actually almost like following the same kind of same type of disorders as the cold damage. So this time is the seasonal disorder. So the seasonal disorder, as I described earlier, is like when the weather is kind of not it's supposed to be hot, but it's not hot, supposed to be cold, and it's not cold. And so it's that kind of thing. And then again, we move to the next page. Then it says it's similar to the cold damage, like it starts, the illnesses starts on your on the skin and the hair, and then it moves on to deeper. And here it actually gives you some sort of treatment methods. Yeah, so it says you use moxibustions when the illness is on the surface, which makes sense, isn't it? Create the heat. And then if it's a bit further, then you use needles, and then you then also can let the patients to take sweating powder. So it's similar to what Michael suggests, using the the drug to,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, to sweat, to force the body to sweat.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't work, then the illness goes further into the muscles, and then you're gonna try to make them sweat. And then so it just goes on. So on the fourth day, the illness is now by now reaches the chest, and then you're gonna give them some kind of pills to take to force them to vomit. And then hopefully that will work. And if it doesn't, then you're gonna ask them to take another type of powder, red beans and melon stems. That's quite an interesting one. And again, you make them vomit, and you think that surely that should solve the problem. But then if it's not recover, you use needles, and then that should solve the problem. If that's not, then again, so it just goes on and on. But each stage, it tells you what you should do. Yeah. So then here it says, if it still doesn't work, the heat now goes to the stomach, and you should then use chicken egg decoction. Is a specific type of decoction. I kind of imagine it's not just the chicken eggs, but something else as well, to induce purgation. So it's basically you eat something makes you want, causing diarrhea. And then it says, this will work 100 times out of 100. So it's like saying, this should really definitely work. Anyway, so then what else? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of repeat very similar, this sort of the progression of the illness, day by day. And then the behavior of the patients as well. So yeah, I mean, it does give you some sort of recipes, what sort of decoctions or what sort of powder you can use. And then, so I'm gonna now jump to page 206. So we're gonna start looking at the Daoyin exercises. So the Yangshen recipes, the Daoyin method says, when you first get up in the morning, cross your left and right arms above your head and take hold of both ears simultaneously to pull them up. So I hope your arms are long enough to reach your ears. So that's the first exercise. Then pull the hair on your temples, so on the sides of your head, and then trying to pull your hair. And then it says immediately the qi on your face will be flowing and circulating, which stops the hair from going white. Oh, that's very good. And the ears from becoming deaf. So just by pulling the side of your hair, you have the benefit of stopping the hair from growing white, also stopping the ears from becoming deaf.
A bit bloody late for me then, isn't it?
Oh no, do it now, do it now. It's never too late, Michael. Right, then the third one is you rub your palms to make them hot, okay, and use them to massage your face from top to bottom twice 7 times. Okay, so there's some kind of directional instruction here. And then stop. Okay, you do that twice 7 times. This gets rid of stagnant qi and makes your face shine. Yeah. And then the fourth one, again, rub your hands to make them hot and massage your body from top to bottom. So I don't know how you do that, but I'm kind of just sort of brushing, brushing your body or something like that. This is called dry shower. It helps you overcome wind cold of seasonal qi and headaches associated with cold fever, and 100 diseases will all be cured. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so it seems to me it is a kind of exercise that you do that every day because like every morning when you wake up, yeah, first thing in the morning, you
Crossing
do
over
this,
the
and so you do those sort of little routines. So this is more about,
the hair on your temples immediately.
yeah, it's more about sort of before you even get any illnesses, you do this. So then it's more almost like preventative than curative.
Yes.
So but yeah, so that's the exercise. So that's only one, but it has got four different things. Okay, so let's try to practice them. So you're gonna do all four of them. You can do them in your own time, your own speed. So basically, the first one you're going to pull cross your arms and then above your head and trying to take hold of your ears. If you can, trying to grab your ears and trying to pull them up. Does it say how long? No, it doesn't. I think then you just trying to, this is feels quite nice actually. And then the second one is you're going to pull your hair. Again, it doesn't tells you how long. You just do it, whenever you feel good. And then third one, you rub your hands, you massage your face, top to bottom. Try 7 times, and then you rub your hands again, and you're going to sort of dry wash yourself. Okay, so should we try? Ourselves a few minutes working on.
Hmm. Hmm.
Sorry, I can't. Sorry, I'm muting myself. Um, right, okay. I was just going to say that how did you find the four little exercises as a morning routine?
They feel so good.
It does?
Yeah, I've
They
done.
do.
I read ahead and did this one with my class last fall as like a sort of a warm up to just sort of start the class,
Yeah.
and it feels so like I could if you there's a few different ways I could talk about it. I mean, it feels great. It's very relaxing, and I feel like better circulation in my face as well as my neck. Like I feel warmer in my skin.
Yeah.
And then if you look, like think about it anatomically, like this area under the ear is a very like the facial nerve comes out here and goes to the whole face. And so
Right.
by pulling up on the ears, we're sort of jostling the canal for the
Mm.
facial nerve and then rubbing all through here and stimulating that whole nerve as well. So it's useful. And yeah, pulling the hair also feels great. I did have a bald person in my class, and I wasn't sure how to deal with them for this,
All
but
right.
just told
Yes.
them to massage the side of their head and
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
if there's nothing to pull. Yeah,
So, yes, what do you think about the
to either
hand?
side. That
Oh, sorry, Jesse. So I think your signal is a little bit unstable, so we kind of
oh, it's not great.
didn't hear the second part of what you said. But I have a question
Uh,
about this hands. Why do we want to do it like this? It seems much harder. Why can't we just do it like this?
Probably easier to pull them up.
Like this?
me,
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of yeah, so when you do that, you kind of already being pulled, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
hmm
already has got that kind of almost being forced to
Takes
be
a whole
pulled.
new meaning to drag yourself out of bed.
That as well. Yeah, so I think yeah, it is very clever. Like it asks you to cross your arms rather than, oh, why don't you just do it like this? But actually, no, it says cross your arms and then you trying to pull your head, try to pull
it
your
really
ears.
it really feels totally different. It feels totally different to do this
Yes, I
than to
know.
do this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Is that
think that
Yeah,
like
it
the
does, doesn't it?
reaching into the ear also like is sort of like pressure and massage, and then just the because your arms naturally want to come back this way, there's a lot of torque on the ears just resting. It
mm,
sort of pulls up And
Yeah,
it also relaxes like the shoulders and neck as well.
right.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It is interesting, isn't it? Because then it kind of does a few different things at the same time.
Mhm.
Mm,
So, and then the second one, yes, you pull the sides of your hair, and that is connected to stopping the hair from growing white, but also help your ear
Mhm.
from being deaf. So again, that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because that's sort of this area. Then you start to massage make your hands nice and warm, massage your face up, down, twice, 7 times. I never
mm,
really, I never really sort of do it up, down, only when this time I realize, actually it tells you to do it up, down. Because before I just do it whichever direction, but I think this time I try to do it up and down.
mm.
Yeah. And then the body, the dry. So I think, yeah, it does makes you feel good, doesn't it? In a
Yeah.
way, kind of like feel very refreshing. How do you find Crystal?
I found it invigorating.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I mean, I never seen these exercise sort of build it in this way. Because in my Tai Chi class, there is one exercise where you rub your hands and then cover your eyes, and then you massage your face. That's kind of the way I do it in my class. But this is like combining with, the four little things together. And it claims that it will get rid of 100 diseases.
Mm.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I think we're happy with those, the exercise. Let's move on. If we got a bit of time, we can then look at the next one. You happy to do that? So the next one
Mhm.
is symptoms of warm disorder. So this is again is to do with this, the weathers, seasons, and the cold. So it says all cold damage disorder turns into warm disorder before the summer solstice, and then into summer disorder before the summer solstice. So unseasonal warmth in winter is called the poison of winter warmth. And that's very different from cold damage. So this one, it seems to me, is about the cold damage that is not immediately sort of come out, is sort of being dormant until the springtime. And then this cold damage disorder turns into a warm disorder. Um,
This is
so
that latent pathogen that
so is
the
still
latent pathogen that Michael was mentioning.
Yeah, I think I guess it must be, mustn't it? Because, as I said, my understanding is that when cold penetrates, it will stagnate chi and generate heat.
Mhm.
So cold turns into heat.
Yeah. But then what makes it turn into a warm disorder is
Well,
almost,
this is, I mean, if there's a little bit of yin deficiency hanging around, then it could become problematic, couldn't it? But you see, my understanding of this always was that the cold pathogen turning into heat in winter is it's called a latent pathogen because the body doesn't notice it
right.
because the body is trying to keep warm.
Hmm.
And so it will actually quite be welcoming to warmth.
Hmm.
So
But then, okay, so
unless of course it gets too much in the yang ming and starts to rise.
starts to rise when?
Well, up
The-
because it counterflows because the Yang Ming qi is downward directional, isn't it? The
Okay.
Yangming channels all go downwards.
Hmm.
So, and heat would be counterflowing back up in the opposite direction.
Okay.
I'm, I'm just trying to think on my feet here, see if I can make it make sense.
Yeah.
But it does seem to be that it's something more than what I was suggesting.
Yeah, I think it's trying to differentiate the different timing. It
Yeah.
seems to me that that's why it's called the warm disorder is really a kind of cold damage that takes place in the springtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. So it's almost like a delayed winter cold.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then turn into a spring or summer heat illness.
Yeah.
So this one is the warm disorder, the summer, the winter, the spring period.
No, I mean, I'll definitely have to go back and have another good look at this,
Hmm.
unseasonal warmth in winter.
Yeah.
Well, if it's saying unseasonal warmth in winter, it means that the temperature,
Yeah.
the external temperature,
Hmm.
is too high,
That's
and
right.
so the pathogen will become visible.
Mhm. Well, which page are you reading?
This is the top of page 210.
Oh, right. Okay. So when those with warm disorders, hold on.
No, the very top,
Uh,
unseasonal warmth in winter is
it's
called the
called,
poison of winter warmth.
yeah. But then that it says this is very different from cold damage. So the unseasonal warmth is in the winter is what we just encounter with the previous one, which is the symptoms of seasonal disorder. So seasonal disorder is what this is. This is, the unseasonal warmth in winter or
Yes, but you see,
unseasonal.
what I was saying was that cold damage is, from my understanding, is in the Taiyang.
Mhm.
I think once it comes into the Yang Ming and Xiaoyang,
Mm.
you have to call it something different.
My understanding of cold damage is you encounter the cold in winter.
Yes, yes,
And then if that then you already have the illness. If you become immediately ill, then you will call that cold damage.
yeah,
But then
yeah,
if that did not happen to you, if somehow there's no symptoms, and then but for some reason in the spring you start to have symptoms, then that's how it's then called warm disorder. It's still part of the cold damage. It's just being delayed. And then if you still did not have the symptoms, when the summer comes, somehow you start to have the symptoms, then that is called the summer heat disorder. But it's
yeah.
still part of the cold damage. That is my understanding.
Yes, but that makes sense. But as I was saying, I think you have to sort of keep calling it, because what you're describing is actually what's called spring warmth,
Spring.
according to warm disease theory.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But because that's something that comes about 500 or 600 years later. So I don't know whether that
Yeah.
really applies. But that, as I was saying, I think that cold damage from a symptomatic presentation
Mm.
is is the definition of the onset.
Mhm.
But once the cold has turned into heat, while cold damage was the cause, the
Mhm.
actual presentation, I don't think can be any longer called cold damage. By
Ah,
bringing cold damage in, you're simply acknowledging where it came from,
right.
but a cold damage sweat simply wouldn't work,
Right.
because by that time you're having to either make the person vomit
Mhm.
or eject it through the bowel. It's
Yes.
simply gone further in.
Yeah, but then that is still can be called cold damage, though. It's just a later stage of cold damage, isn't
But
it?
it comes under the umbrella.
Umbrella.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Gosh, it's so complicated. I wonder, I mean, maybe we should not miss maybe we should just read it.
Yeah.
But then because, I just thought the session is more about the exercise, so,
Mm.
whether we should take shortcut, but obviously it's hard to take shortcuts. But I think we're gonna try. So this one then. Yeah, I mean, the idea is, is following very similar to that sort of cold damage kind of way of thinking is the every, as it gets illness gets further become more and more severe as day goes on, basically, if the patient's still not cured. So I think we're going to read the Daoyin instructions, and that is on page 211. So it says the Yangshen recipes, the Daoyin method says, regularly when the cock crows, okay, that's very early, visualize and recite in your heart the names of the spirits of the four seas 3 times. This wards off 100 deviances, gets rid of ghosts, and prevents people from becoming ill. So again, it's one of those like cure-all kind of thing, isn't it? Almost more like a preventative than curative. The name of the spirits of the Eastern Sea is Amin. So then you start recite this person's name, Amin. The name of the spirit of the Southern Sea is Zhurong. So then you recite this person's name. The name of the spirit of the Western Sea is Juchen. And then the name of the spirit of the Northern Sea is Yuqiang. So they're quite hard, quite hard to remember. So it's Amin, Zhurong, Juchen, Yuqiang. So then, okay, so that's that really. So that's one exercise. And then there's obviously another one, which in page 212. So this one, I think, okay, early in the morning, when the cock crows, you then, so it's almost like so it's an incantation, isn't it? So incantation at this period is one of Daoyin exercise. So Daoyin exercise encompass not just physical movements, breathing, massage, but also incantation and also visualization. So this is one of the incantations, which is part of the Daoyin exercises. And you visualize those 4 spirits, the spirits of the different of the seas, eastern, southern, western, and northern seas. So, and then you recite in your heart. So you don't actually say it out loud, but you kind of need to know what they are. So I think this is probably going to be hard for the modern people to do because it's slightly out of cultural references. I mean, I don't even know in 7th century China whether these names were familiar to them. Maybe they are, I don't know. Certainly not familiar to me as a modern Chinese person. I never heard of any of those names. I did not even know that seas, East seas, those seas have got name, yeah. So they are definitely, not something in sort of in a sort of popular traditions, if you like. So this is quite a specific practice, which fortunately being kept in Zhubing Holland text. But anyway, so I think this is, I mean, you don't, it's okay. So it tells you to recite the 4 names 3 times. And also you're going to start with, I think there is a direction. So you start with the Eastern Sea, the spirit of the Eastern Sea. So on the east, and then the south, the west, and the north. I imagine you do the first name 3 times, and the second person 3 times. I don't know. Or you do it once and then you do it 3 times. So do you want to try, or do you think, oh no? Because if you do want to try, then we just need to make sure the pronunciation are, good
Yeah.
enough. Otherwise, we just say, okay, well, yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? You almost got to have a belief system, don't you, in order to make it effective.
And
What
this
do
is
you think?
also probably being done like with altar practice and devotional sort of cultural behavior, right? Like, so there's probably kotoing. I doubt it's just like you sit in bed and think of the names. It's probably like ritualized a little bit more than that, but maybe.
Yeah, you're probably going to be in a position of like facing east, and you got maybe some kind of altar. You're gonna do it like properly, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're gonna so this 存心念, so that is you're gonna sort of visualize the name the spirits, and then you're gonna chant their names, but only with your heart you do that. So you visualize and recite in your heart the names of the spirits of the 4 seas. I think it's very interesting because, like, imagine if you live in China, if you have that kind of imagination of the Eastern Sea, Southern Sea, Western Sea, Northern Sea. Yeah, so you're surrounded by sea, but then it's like vast, vast, vast territory. Yeah. And then yeah, you're gonna feel some kind of protections, isn't it? There's almost like you're enveloped by these kind of different spirits that they're gonna protect you, and so then nothing harm is going to come anywhere near you. I think that's the idea. Yeah, I think it's interesting about incantation. I think in the modern period, I don't know in your own practice whether you do any kind of incantation. Because I think unless, yeah, it's yeah, in a Buddhist tradition, obviously there's, they sort of recite scriptures, don't they? So I suppose that can be a type of incantation. But yeah, there's also another incantation practice in Zhubing Yuanhou, and that is to evoke the Western the Xi Wangmu, the King Mother of the West. And so I think that I can imagine is a more popular one because people recognize that. So but yeah, I think maybe we want to skip this. Okay, all right then. Then we skip that. All right, so are you happy if we then now read the next one? So that's on page 212. Again, it says, visualize your heart qi as red, your liver qi as green, your lung qi as white, and your spleen qi as yellow, and your kidney qi as black. Oh, that's very interesting because I always thought is you visualize your heart being red, your liver being green, your lung being white, your spleen being yellow, and your kidney being black. This is not. This is like the qi, the heart qi. So that's quite abstract, really, isn't it? So I'm kind of still going to be imagine that area, but less on the actual organs, but more as a almost like energetically, isn't it? Energetically, the heart, that energy in your heart area is red. I think that's kind of seems to me what it's trying to suggest. They emerge circulating in your body. So imagine, so they're sort of coming out, moving around, circulating. So they all got those different colors. So it doesn't stay where it is, it move around. This can also prevent deviant ghosts. If you wish to avoid numerous deviants, a ward of 100 ghosts, visualize your heart as a blazing fire. Oh, okay, this time is an actual organ then. So it's your heart is like fire, blazing fire, shaped like the dipper. So what shape is that then? Is it like a little, like a pot shape,
The
like
spoon,
a ladle?
like the Big Dipper.
Yeah, Big Dipper, like the
Okay.
dipper.
So what shape would that be?
Yeah, what shape?
Seven stars with a bowl and a stem.
Of course, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
So almost like a ladle with a
Yeah.
handle. Um,
Sure.
okay. Let me just see, making sure I got Rudo. Yeah, okay. Shining and illuminating. In this way, the 100 deviants will not dare to interfere. You interfere, so the character is it, interfere, it referring to the heart again, I think. And then you will be immune to epidemics. So this is the one that when COVID started, I drew a little picture of the body and then draw like the heart being red, and that's so like, you know, and trying to like protect myself, sort of visualizing those different part of your body. But then now I read again, realize is the chi that is, is the colors.
Yeah.
So great. Okay, so in a way, there are two exercises, two visualizations. One is visualizing the chi of the heart, the livers, the lungs, the spleen, the kidneys being different colors. And I think you're familiar with those colors, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you visualize the heart being like blazing fire, on fire and shaped like the dipper. I think it's quite interesting.
Mm.
And yeah, so this is like blazing away here. Huang Huang Guangming is very bright, shining and illuminating. I think we're going to give ourselves some time to do this, to do the visualize. I think it's hard. I always find it like visualizing internal things can be tricky. But yeah, it's good. It's good for us. We
Mm.
try and then we'll see. Let's
Yeah.
do that. Give ourselves a few minutes. There are two visualizations.
Okay.
it feels quite pleasant for me.
Hmm.
It feels that my whole body becomes very colorful, and they kind of mix after a while. And then it feels almost like an abstract painting, but quite colorful, like different colors. And initially, I sort of trying to locate the different colors where they are, the heart, the spleen and yellow, and liver green, and lungs white, kidney black. But then they kind of mixed once they start moving around, and it feels quite nice. And then I have this heart being very bright red, and it kind of stay very red. And yeah, and then I feels as if I'm working with my organs and with my mind to almost like to galvanize the organs to make them very strong and make them very tough. Has got that kind of feeling, so almost like boosting up my immune system or something. So yeah, it feels good. It feels almost quite unusual in a way, because I don't think in modern practice we do that, because this is visualization is a very important part of Daoyin exercises in Zhubing Yuanhou Len. And the modern so-called qigong or tai chi practices, you rarely have having to use visualization. So yeah, in a way, this is you know slightly rare.
Hmm.
So how did you find, Jesse?
I enjoyed it. I felt like when I was able to visualize the blazing fire and the dipper, like it almost shocked me at how sort of expansive and warming I felt immediately.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's worth noting that the character like Tsun is like visualized like a very mild translation of it. Like it's like it's like visualized so that it is real in a sense. Like you want to like
Yeah.
feel the heat of the fire, feel like
Yeah.
the you almost smell the smoke or whatever. Like you want it's like it's not just it's not just like drawing in your head. It's like
Mm.
living in a different
Yeah,
realm in a
you're
sense.
absolutely right, because another way of translate that word "cun" is actualize. You actualize.
Actualize, yeah, yeah, which I think most people
Live.
wouldn't understand, but it's
No.
somewhere between the two of visualizing and actualizing. It's a little stronger than just imagination. And if
Yes.
you think about like, what it would be like to have grown up with no television, no radio, no internet, like I think that the average person, this would be, it's like I don't think we would outgrow our imagination in the way that we seem to. I think the average person would have like more of a transportative effect in terms of their imagination. And also, when you grow up doing like altar practice and incantation and offerings and stuff like that, like you're always, this is a muscle that is very worked out in this population, right? And
Yes.
so I think that it's important as modern practitioners to like recognize that like building the attention span to be able to visualize to this degree is a skill that we often don't work out, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
That's
with them, they would have. And so I don't think we should underestimate the efficacy. Like, during the COVID epidemic, if our governments were like, okay, guys, just visualize a blazing fire in your heart and you'll be okay. Like, I could understand why people would be frustrated with that preventative approach, but I don't think that we can assume it does nothing,
Mm.
right? Like if you look at how COVID, as an example, progressed, like it didn't always have logic behind it. Like you'd have people in the same house, and one person would be deathly ill, and four people would never catch it, and then
Mm.
you'd have people who got vaccinated and got it, and then people who didn't get vaccinated who never got it, and so like logic is a very useful tool, but it's not all there is.
Mm-mm.
And so like a practice, like if you know there's an epidemic raging, a practice of like circulating through visualization the chi of your organs and building like a protective fire in your
Yeah.
heart, like
Mm.
I don't think we should say it does nothing. I think that there's probably a very significant effect that's just much harder to capture and measure than science would be acceptable of, right?
Yeah. And also, as you said, it's like you got to have that kind of ability or the skills to be able to actually
Mm.
do the exercise to actually, to
Mm-hmm.
imagine or not even imagine to really feel this chi being in a particular color or being the heart being in that sort of blazing fire. And so you kind of really, really, enact those things. So
Yeah.
To make it as, so real that is almost there.
Like you're tricking your very cells are experiencing its
Yeah,
veracity, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I think and that's why when I was doing it, I feel like I'm sort of really um almost like helping my body to become even almost like become a, you know, to be very, very strong and powerful and, yeah. And that's that almost like very yeah, it feels very empowering in a way. It feels as if I can do it. I can somehow help my body to become stronger, to have that protection, almost like a shield.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
And it's not like they don't take this illness seriously, right? Like you have this juxtaposition of in the description that they're talking about, like the last line on page 210, it says, if they've lost their mind, if they're seeing like having hallucinations,
mm,
even if they get treatment, they're going to die. So it's like the people of this time recognize the severity of this illness and the danger of this illness.
yes.
And then the exercises are not like we don't see any sort of curative exercises. We're not trying to like this is a visualization and it's specifically for preventing, it says. Like in
Mm,
this way, the 100 deviants will not dare interfere and you will be immune to
yeah,
epidemics.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
right.
it's like, it's I think that like the people are experiencing possible fear and worry. Maybe they know someone who's died from this, maybe their neighbor caught it, maybe it's in their house,
Mm,
right? And so it's like, but you have to live anyway, right? Like you can
yeah.
only do so much.
Mm.
And so it's like, taking that sort of anxiety and like doing these intense visualization exercises as a way to like be your guide through the danger in a sense.
Sure.
But it
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah, yeah.
negate the danger. It's not saying it's not a big deal. It's saying this is a very dangerous
Yeah.
illness.
Yeah.
Do these visualizations to protect
Mm,
yourself, right?
yes.
Mm.
And definitely do it already do it before anything happened to you. So
Hmm.
again, do it, as a preventative and yeah, not until it's already too late because then that's too late. So do it while you are, while you're able to help your body to be stronger and to really, help to ward off all the deviances. So anyway, great. I think we're running out of time. And but yeah, this is very, very interesting exercises. Um, and I think it's really worth trying to practice them.
Mm.
And I think the ones that that you practice in the morning, like a little routine, I think that's very approachable, that we can certainly do them. And the visualization is slightly hard, but again, is what Jess is saying, almost like build to have that kind of skill in order to really make it effective. So again, it's almost like a bit like you need to practice and practice and practice and practice until you have the ability to actualize, these um, these different qi in the different colors and, in your body.
I will have to love you and leave you all now because somebody's holding dinner for me.
Oh, yes, I can smell the dinner as well. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
See you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Bye.